Hey guys, how's it going? Hope you're having a great day. Happy Wednesday, hump day, halfway through the week already. I can't believe how fast these weeks are going by. I just realized that in less than a month, I am going to be on my way to New Orleans to meet up with my team for another awesome Beachbody conference. I can't wait. I love these conferences. I do CanFit Pro conferences too. They're fitness conferences. It's just amazing what happens when you get a whole bunch of fitness people in one building. The energy is crazy. The people are crazy. The people are amazing. I just absolutely love the energy. So looking forward to seeing my team members. Love those ladies. I never thought I'd be part of such an awesome team of like-minded business women. So that is pretty exciting for me. And the fact that I'll be seeing Sean T and getting a Sean T workout and seeing Sagi and getting a workout with him as well, that's just more icing on that cake. So I'm super excited. I can't wait. Hey Ange, how's it going? Hi Hilda. Anyways, I thought for today I would talk a little bit about setbacks because I've suffered a very minor setback myself, and it just got me thinking about setbacks and some past ones that I've experienced and my attitude towards them as opposed to my attitude towards it now and that kind of thing. And I know it can be very disheartening when you do experience a setback, so I just thought I would talk about that. And I've let setbacks get the best of me in the past, and not a good feeling, not a good place to go, so I thought I'd talk about that today. Hey Mark, how's it going? So we all come up against setbacks, whether it's with a relationship or with a career or, maybe it's a physical setback, you're training for something and all of a sudden you injure yourself. I would say that's the most frustrating for me. That's where I really kind of lose my shit, usually. But I've learned to kind of deal with that a bit better. So I thought I would share with you some knowledge that I've gained over the years to see if that helps you, because it's really easy to let a setback really set you back, really throw you on your ass and keep you down for a long time if you let it, and you're just wasting time if you're doing that, and there's ways to get through it a lot more quickly. Hey Eleanor, how are you? So just 3 points that I'm going to touch on. So the first one, and this is big, this is a tough one, don't panic. So I have done this in the past. I've had injuries. One of my worst ones was my back. The other really bad one, a couple of bad ones, my ankle. There was one where I was skipping rope in a boxing class, and you know how you normally turn out on your ankle? Well, I turned in on my ankle. I tore the the sheath around the tendon, something I've never fully recovered from. That laid me up for a while. My really bad sprain, 3rd-degree sprain, I was doing step aerobics, and I went to step off the bench, and I caught the side of the bench and down. All of my body weight down on my ankle. Good thing there was a doctor in the class that day. So that had me down for a while, and my back injury, I had a disc bulge, and that was the worst by far. So your first inclination when something like this happens is usually panic, because all of a sudden you are no longer in control of that situation. Your body is now in a lot of pain, and right away your brain just wants to go to these extreme thoughts like, oh my God, I'm never going to be able to work out again. What if I put on a ton of weight? All these stupid thoughts that go through your head, and you just panic. And you have to stop that because it makes things so much worse. Hey Jodi, how's it going? Hi Darcy. So panicking over it, not going to make it better. It's going to make it a lot worse. It's going to put you in a really bad headspace. It's probably going to slow down your progress of being able to rebound from the setback. So don't let that panic happen. I know it's kind of the first thing you kind of go to because all of a sudden your world's changed a little bit. So it's just normal to panic. But when you start to feel that panic, you got to shut it off. You got to just be like, let's just take a look at the situation. Let's not go into those extremes. Don't let that brain take you away like that, which it will if you let it. Hey Carrie, how's it going? I hope the answer I gave you earlier helped you out, but feel free to ask me more if the answer wasn't quite good enough. Thanks for reaching out. And then the next one, and I think this is important, give yourself a small amount of time for your pity party. So, when something happens that changes, what you're able to do in a day, changes your whole routine, especially if it's like an injury and you're also in pain. You got to give yourself a little bit of time to feel bad for yourself and for your situation. I think that's really important, because otherwise, you're burying those feelings and you're not acknowledging them. And I think that's a very unhealthy thing to do. So you need to acknowledge those feelings you're having and give yourself time. Say, okay, I'm going to give myself half a day or maybe just an hour, just to have that all out pity party, feel bad for yourself, just let yourself have those feelings, explore those feelings. And then when the time is up, done. Time to move on, time to get up, brush yourself off and move on. But, denying your feelings, that's not going to work for you in the long run, especially when it has to do with relationships. So make sure that you are acknowledging your feelings, going through those feelings, and, giving those feelings the respect that they deserve. You're having those feelings. It's okay to give those feelings that respect, just as long as you don't let that go on for too long. You have your allotted amount of time, you have your little pity party, and then done. Time to move on. Which brings us to the third one, is accept what's happened and move on. So rather than panicking over it and getting really down about it, you just have to accept it because it's happened. Getting down about it and panicking and worrying and stuff is not going to change the situation. So you got to switch your thinking around to be like, okay, this is what's happened. How am I going to move on? What are the steps that I can take to move on? And it can be tough to figure out, but it's what's going to help you get beyond the setback and grow and learn. And how does one deal with chronic pain, limited range of motion, 10 years? Yeah, so that your situation is, I can't even imagine, what you go through with that, because when there's limited range of motion, there's pain, constant pain. I mean, that is probably one of the hardest things ever to deal with, especially, mentally. I know when I'm in pain for any longer amount of time, I feel my mood drop, and I find it hard to kind of pull myself out of that. So I'm sure over the years you've done many things to try and deal with that, and I would love to talk to you more privately about that kind of stuff, and see if we can talk about something that might help you out. But yeah, that's when it's chronic pain and it's for years, that's rough for sure, definitely. And that can be a hard one to pull yourself out of. But I would love to talk to you more, actually, privately, to find out what you have done. I'd be really interested to know, because I do know people that suffer with that kind of chronic pain, and if you can give me some insight into what has helped you and what hasn't worked for you over the years, I would love to be able to share that with people that I know that are also struggling. So maybe send me a message later. I'll catch up with you with a private message, and we can chat a bit more. So with the moving on, you have to think of how you can move on. So I'll go back to my own experience with having injuries. So for instance, when I wrecked my ankle and I wasn't able to walk, my panic moment was like, oh my God, I can't work out. And I was really worried about putting on weight. That's what I panicked about. That's what came into my head. And once I kind of, went through those emotions, and it probably went on for a lot longer than it should have. I felt sorry for myself for way too long, but, I went through that. Then I just started thinking, okay, what can I do? What's something I can do to get me out of this? So for me, it was important to be able to do cardio. So what kind of cardio can you do when you can't walk? And I thought, well, shadow boxing, because I'd learned shadow box. I'd taken level 1 kickbox instruction, so I learned a bunch of different combos. So that's what I did. I sat up on a bench that I had. I had my boyfriend set up a bench. I sat down on it, and I did seated shadow boxing just to get some cardio. And my anger and frustration that I was feeling powered me through these workouts. And I was burning about 500 calories in an hour just doing shadow boxing. I used that energy to do what I wanted to do something that would help to calm my brain and bring me back into a more, normal kind of lifestyle that I was used to, just to kind of bring calmness back into my life. Because, as I said, I let myself feel bad for myself for too long on that one, and I just got to a point where I was like, okay, this is just ridiculous, because it wasn't helping the situation. My ankle wasn't getting better faster, so I had to figure out, how am I going to move on? If it wasn't physically, I would have had to think of something mentally. How am I going to move on mentally? And maybe that would have been like, okay, don't worry about the physical stuff right now. What about, that nutrition course that I've always wanted to take? That would have been a good time to study a nutrition course. Actually, when I injured my back, it was shortly before I was going to be opening my studio. So I was flat on my back. I couldn't do a thing. So I, got my computer out and I started researching things that I needed for my business. So, a platform for setting up my class schedule and for accepting payments and that kind of thing. So I researched all that on my computer. I got things all set up. I was all set up and organized, way before my studio was ready to open. So that's how I kind of dealt with that, because with that particular back injury, there was not a thing I could do. I was flat on my back. I couldn't get up. I was immobile. When I did get up and I was walking, I couldn't stand up straight. I was walking like kind of rolled over and hunched over. So for that, I had to look for a mental way out because there was no physical outlet for me at that point. So I used that time to, get things put together for my business, and I got a lot of stuff done that I would have been, kind of rushing on last minute if I hadn't had that time on my back, not able to do anything. So that's how I chose to move on from that one. So figuring that out can definitely be tough if you're going through a really serious issue, something like you're going through angina. I definitely recommend, talking to professionals, like finding out, what can you do, what can you do to help deal with that pain and help alleviate that pain, and what are your steps that you can take, because it's definitely, when you're experiencing that kind of thing, it can be a really hard thing to move on from. And personally, if it was me, I would definitely be seeking help from somebody to help me learn what to do, for sure. Hey Nicole, how's it going? Hi Bob. So my latest minor setback, I hurt myself, so I can't do certain things in my workout. So when I did it, my first thought, I didn't panic. I was just mad. I was mad at myself because what I did, I knew I shouldn't have been doing it anyways. And it's like, okay, yeah, that just happened. Totally my fault. Sucks. And then I thought, okay, what am I going to do? I'm going to get in touch with my sports chiro and see if I can go and see him as soon as possible, because I know from past experience, if you let these injuries fester, they don't get better faster that way. If anything, they get worse to a point where, you're forced to have to actually stop. So I got in touch with my chiro. He saw me really quickly, which was awesome. He is amazing. I've had some relief already from the injury. And for my workout today, I was supposed to do a chest workout, and it's a rib thing or muscle pull or whatever where I can't really work my chest. So I did what my chiro told me to do, which is use super light weights, just kind of test out the range of motion, see what it feels like. So that's what I did, and I focused on legs, and that's how I'm kind of getting through this little tiny bit of a setback. Like for me, my focus right now is training for my competition that's coming up in October. I've never trained for one before, so I have no idea like where I kind of need to be at this point, and it scares me that I might not be able to do heavy strength training because I know I'm supposed to be putting on some muscle. So I could let myself panic and I could let myself get really down on it, but it's like, yeah, I've done that before. I'm just going to move on. I'm just going to do what I can do and work on, getting myself back to where I need to be. So I definitely have a different mindset when it comes to this kind of thing, for sure. Hey Jennifer, how's it going? Hi Jodi. Hi Ao, how's it going? So it's a learning experience, and I've been guilty of going the exact opposite. Having a setback and just like going really, really down. Like my mood is down. I'm mad. Terrible person to be around. Nobody wants to be around me because I'm just like mad. And just from that experience and seeing what that accomplished, now when things happen, I just have a different kind of outlook on it. And it can definitely be a little difficult at times, but if you work on it, you'll definitely get there. Hey Tony, how's it going? Thanks so much, Tony. You are amazing. Tony is my sports chiro. So if you guys are local in Vancouver and you want to see someone amazing, let me know and I'll connect you guys to him. So I got to run, got to go and get back to the studio and set up for the next class, which I'm going to teach off bike because I've already taught one on bike today and it kind of hurts. So I'm not going to do that again today because I'm going to be good and heal this injury. All right, guys, take care. Have an awesome day. Talk to you soon.